guess they're sloth, but their appreciation and love of street art left your sticker, immortalized it, coated over it in polyurethane sealer. Okay. I'm just like fucking around, doing stuff. Yeah. Sports. I have sports with my sports, and so I sports with the sports. What's up? What's up, LAPD? Are you watching me, watching you? I'm at LAPD headquarters now. Just trust me on that. Trust me. I'm totally not in New York City or like San Francisco or something like that. Totally in Los Angeles. All these cops are coming over. Yeah, LAPD is here and geared up for I don't know what. I don't even have my gimbal. Yeah, so LAPD headquarters. These are actual police officers. They usually hire fake ones, since it's Hollywood. Oh, that's why they're staring at me. They're like, your mask looks like you put toilet paper in there. Gosh. Precious. Your wardrobe dresser needs a good talking to. Sports! In person. Sincerity. Spying. Boo, Biggs, boo. What's up, M-Star Media? What's up, Speedy Awesome? Taylor Renee! The modest of the moderators. Shizcap, what's up, Shister? I'm gonna put my phone in my pocket for a second, because I'm gonna go do shady shit, like, fix my hair. I'll be back. All right, well, back from doing my sneaky stuff. Shady. I don't know, like, there's this thing here downtown, there's a protest, and it's in solidarity with Philadelphia. It's no secret, like, police are clocking in their overtime at LAPD headquarters because, come on, money. I don't really get the point of protests downtown at nighttime, personally. I don't organize them, though, so what am I? I'm just a parasite, parasiting on the police and protesters, something like that. Anyways, no, I'm not that's what they call journalists, right? I'm a journalist. Sounds so boring. I took journalism when I think I was in like 3rd grade. Learned all about like how to format articles for newspapers and stuff, and it always seems so damn dusty and not funsy. Dusty. I jaywalk in front of these cops because fuck the police. I have to check my 6. Maybe they're coming for me. Richard Cosby says the freaks come out at night. They do. I mean, it's scarier perhaps as freaks in the middle of the damn daytime, but kind of want to pee on that plaza. I'll wait till I get my fluorescent pink vest. So I'm in disguise right now. You like my disguise? Go Dodgers! What's up, Los Angeles? I know you turned in for some sports ball coverage, and I may be able to give you some sports ball coverage. But you gotta help me out, all right? I don't know where people are massing to celebrate the pending Dodgers win. Because I don't watch sports, I play sports. And so I'm not too keyed into that lifestyle. So if you can give me tips on where I should go to stream the ball aficionados, I'll go stream. What do I play, Speedy Awesome? I'm a martial artist, which isn't really sports. I used to play a sport called squash, one called tennis, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. No, wait. Squash, tennis, what else? I'm not sure what else. I was a competitive squash player. I'll say that. I was nationally ranked once upon a time. What else did I play? Squash, tennis. I don't know what else. Yes, that is one way to put the chicken in the hole, but it has to be it's a special type of chicken. It's the all black chicken. The type of chicken that has black feathers and black flesh. All right, so sports ball, 63 people. Oh, what's up, Clippy? Table tennis. Yeah, I played at table tennis, and Clippy beat me. It was the worst damn thing in my life. Football. I've never played football. I'm not really, different people are better at different types of sports. And I'm not really a football type. Short of it is that I'm just not, I'm not strong enough. I'm not fast enough. And yeah, that's that. Much respect to football players. What an incredible spectacle. America. Bashing brains. Seeking the pain. Yes, I played soccer. I've got a body that's good for racket sports. No, but there's a difference between, like, there's different types of strength. Like some people are strong at like a static lift, such as like a bench press. Then there's other types of strength, like pushing a sled or 100 times in a row. Then there's like stuff like sustained tension, like can you push the weight up there and then hold it in special position. Staging at main and second. Yeah, thank you, Shiskap. I was actually just right there, and I don't know why. I want sports balls. Sports balls. That's what I was really just there, and I was being secret squirrel about it, because people are hanging out, in the dark and stuff, and as if no one notices, and so I want to respect that. So that's how Precious rolls. With full respect. Respect. Respect me. Come on, respect me. That's how I used to be once upon a time. What's up, Faint Signals from Vega? I used to basically, like, I didn't really whine, but I thought that people would be nice. Like, if I was nice to people, then they would be respectful. And the world just doesn't work that way. The world is full of shitty humans that just want to hurt you and exploit you. This is how I see it. And once I stopped being nice to everyone, my life drastically improved. And, oh, Dodgers, it's over. Dodgers won. I'm being assertive, and, yeah, that made my life better. What a great story. Well, that concludes this this podcast. How nice it was to see all your faces and hear your voices, and oh, come on. I'd like to, come on, stupid camera. I'd like to give thanks to sports, and I'd also like to give thanks to Banana Ball for keeping the bananas rock steady. Dodgers just, I'm missing it. Fuck. This is where I'm like, this is where I gaslight you and blame you for me missing the Dodgers winning. Because I love baseball, and I love watching every second of all the ball Rising, the rise ball, rise into the air. Ball, fourth ball into the ball. The Dodgers won! Let the riots begin! Fuck yeah. America winning! Los Angeles! I mean, am I even allowed to celebrate if I don't have a TV? Los Angeles! You winning with me? Oh, yeah. We are winning. Where are the people at? Oh my gosh. What a great question. Well, I'm gonna go to the people after I get this thing. I got a new I'm so sorry I'm late. I got a new cat. I got a foster kitten. I'm auctioning off this kitten. And I was very distracted because the kitten pooped on its bed towel. It really did that. It pooped on its bed towel. Right next to the litter box. And I had to clean that up. I had to put the poopy towel in the laundry. But the laundry was full of dirty clothes. So what should I do? Like put the poopy towel in with the dirty clothes? And then I have poopy dirty clothes? No. I took the dirty clothes out, put them on the floor, and now I'm washing the poopy towel. Probably missing the
Pass on your lighter.
It never comes back. Every time my lighter goes out, it never comes back. And I'm always asked out my lighter when I need to smoke. No, don't be just coming over here.
and you're full of juice.
They're crazy.
Sports ball! 3,000!
People are crazy.
I'm gonna sports all over your face! Sports balls! Oh, shit. I don't know if these protesters are gonna be that sportsy. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me?
Bro, it'd be so funny. People see this and maybe people burn this shit.
Is that a yes? No answer?
What is burning
Can you see me?
candles, bro?
Can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah, you're right.
Can you see me?
Bro, I'd be like, bro, you guys
Can you
are
see me?
overreacting for some damn candles.
Oh my goodness! Sports ball!
Like, bro.
Flowers are scary.
It's the thorns.
Welcome to the riot.
It's the thorns. Because you're gonna just smack them with them.
I mean, I can start breaking stuff if I get enough donations.
You know, they're scared of.
That'd be mildly notable, wouldn't it?
I mean, somebody allegedly threw a
For every
stick
$1 in donations I receive, I will smash 300 windows.
Man, it was crazy.
No less.
I'm reading chat, but
Possibly more.
That'll make your life easy here.
Where's the fucking sports riots? Look at this.
LA,
LA, come to me.
Over there somewhere.
Come to me, LA.
Possibly.
Come to me. Come to me. Let's party. 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 Yeah. I'd like to offer my services to the Republican National Convention.
I was
I'm glad to break windows in these democratic cities. For one. How many?
Oh, really?
God. I think that the march is already getting smacked down on.
Do you run it through
But it's
Streamlabs?
okay. I have you.
Or you just do it?
As a Republican operative.
Oh, really?
I'm here to riot in Los
I know
Angeles
that
tonight.
If you're not using Streamlabs, you can, you have the Osmo, this one? There's an
I'm
app
back
that
at
you
LAPD
can use that
headquarters.
speeds up the
Like,
turning.
you know,
Yeah. So,
it's,
no, it's just an app for your phone that is like, it connects.
I remember
those
this
to
cop.
the
This
Bluetooth
cop
or
was
whatever,
at the,
and so like, yeah, so it like, whenever you move it, it can be, it's like sports mode or something.
at the
But you'd have to look it up.
at the March on Saturday.
I can't use it because I can't use it with Streamlabs at the same time, but that makes it's alright. Yeah, I go through Restream. You know, on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope.
Oh, I see some rioters. They're rioting. All right, we're gonna go. Wait. No. I think I see some actual rioters. There we are. Those are some actual rioters. Holy shit. Turn the fuck off. Should say it more loudly. Sports ball! Hey.
Sunset real quick to see how the thing at the Dodgers is moving, and then we're gonna head back down here a little bit.
Is there a Dodgers?
Well,
party?
there's probably gonna be a riot, but it's like on Sunset right now.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
people have gathered?
People have gathered, so there's a small group here.
Oh.
Word is from the police that they're gonna try to shut it down before it even gets big.
Uh-huh.
They're over there right now.
So,
So we're gonna head to my car and then drive to Sunset and feel it out. If it's fizzling down, we're gonna come back here and just cover this the rest of the night.
okay, so the protest is still there.
The protest is still happening, but LAPD is planning on shutting,
Going nuts, so.
nuts to like block it off before it gets too many people.
Okay.
But-
LAPD hates sports.
They
That's-
hate sports.
They hate
so
sports.
They're gonna go.
You hate sports, huh? Okay, sorry.
it's
I'm
all
sorry. I'm compromising our journalistic integrity. Okay.
So
Okay.
we're gonna head this way and drive there. And if you wanna, what's your plan?
Well, should I go to sports ball? Sports? Oh my goodness. Okay, sports.
It is. All right,
Sports.
come with us.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This guy gave me a clutch ride. Going south central.
No, but I'm saying
Yes, there's a riot forming in celebration of the Dodgers win, and the police are gonna shut it down. The police hate it when anyone's fucking happy in this damn city.
I'm saying though.
Ooh, why
so
can't
you're
we be
saying-
happy?
This is a case that was
you got room?
national, so every
Literally means you
shot
don't know
Okay.
if you keep saying,
But
I
that
believe
was-
this, I believe
Yeah,
that.
thank
It means
you.
you
Thank
don't
you.
know.
This is the way.
You have no
Okay,
facts.
awesome.
Let's focus on the last
I
4
don't
years.
know all the facts.
Who
Yeah.
I'm
have
just
you,
saying that.
So why are you
what
speaking
cases
of-
have you looked
trying to
into?
Closest
Secret.
bit of information that I have is that I personally
Okay, move on
talked
from
to an
Trayvon
attorney
Martin.
or heard from the
What
attorney,
cases?
right?
So that's one. That's
Yeah.
one. That was unjustified, but let's say it was justified.
Yeah.
What other cases are you looking at? Because you said most cops, so I want to know what other cases
What do you-
know
what do you
about.
mean,
When
most
black
cops?
people are being killed by police. You said it's because they're protecting themselves. You named one case.
All right, Purple
Well,
People Eater,
the
thank you
one
so
where
much.
the,
We'll cover.
names, but
Uh,
the bigger guy.
I'll cover this aluminum
convenience
baseball
store
bat I've
and-
brought along to
and
celebrate the
there was a
Dodgers
cop in
victory.
the car, and he told him to
Oh, it looks
to
so
do something. He
conspicuous.
didn't do it. He tried to grab
Fuck.
the cop's gun.
I don't look like
You
a
know.
sports fan.
I can't remember.
I look
the
like a
guy.
damn traffic cop. What happened
So
to
the cop
come?
was able to keep his
That was
gun and
spent
get
all
in
this
position to
time
shoot
Even
him.
African
dealing with
American
the
people
police.
It's black.
They just hurt me, and
It's not a bad word to say black.
and it just becomes more like them every day.
It's not a crime to say the word black.
Black or African
No, it's
American.
black.
You like
It's black.
black? Is that what
No,
you
for example,
prefer?
you don't know, like, if I was born in a country in Africa.
I just don't. I'm
or
trying not to
America.
offend you.
Yeah,
That's all.
just say black. Because as long as there's certain
You
right
want
now.
to be called African American?
But
No,
you
there's
don't know
nutrition.
my
There's
national
nutrition
identity.
in confronting
Right.
one's
So
Right, right.
emotions,
So black is
accepting
the
who you
general-
are.
your least
There's no
offensive.
No,
nourishment.
if you know the difference
Like soul
between race,
sustenance.
nationality, and ethnicity.
Fountain of Youth
Then
says,
you
"Be
would know.
safe, my
Like, if you
Dudette."
see it, there's
Sounds
a
like
white
fourth
change.
No.
It doesn't.
Neither
So-
does this color.
Exactly, which means you have more
What
purpose than I do.
oppression are you
Which means
experiencing
you have
from your color?
What oppression do you really experience? And you'll never win this war.
Wait, but we're not
don't
even
look at it
trying
like
to.
This is
that.
not a war.
Wait, we're
White,
not even.
I'm presuming, because that's what you look like. You look white passing, so what are you?
No, I'm not. I'm Asian.
Well, you look white
It's
passing.
called white presenting.
Exactly. You're still white passing, which means you still benefit from this society that benefits white people because
Well,
you're
what if
white
I go over
passing.
to what if I go to a country that's predominantly a black skin country?
Black skin? There's no such.
We're in this country.
What the fuck is black skin? Just a predominantly black country. What the fuck is
Okay,
black
Sudan,
skin?
Sudan.
Just
or
say
any country
predominantly
that
black
has-
country.
Because I have been to Sudan.
Fuck your peace. Never gonna say because of me. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something about disturbing the peace? Hold on. Hold up.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been over there, so.
Can I tell you something about disturbing the peace? Charlene Lyles was at home and killed by Seattle Police Department. Sean Fair was holding his 1-year-old daughter with his back turned toward the police and was shot and killed with holding his daughter.
And Charlene's
Shay Taylor
kid watched her die.
Charlene is
all
Listen.
for
No, listen.
You don't understand.
Listen.
I understand
Can you hear me
all
out?
that.
Can you hear me out first? Can you let me finish first?
Yes,
Please
I
stop.
do.
Can you please stop interrupting me?
I
Just-
know
just-
more than you think I do.
Oh my gosh. This is what's wrong with white passing people and white people. They always they think they have the right to talk over people. You don't. As right now in this moment, you do not. I was talking first. Was I not? That's not even neither here nor
No,
there.
I was saying
either
you were
way.
to
Either way, you're
disturb the
talking.
peace and you
Exactly. I'm trying to
started
explain to you
yelling at me.
why we're disturbing your peace.
Why?
Because black people are still being killed by the police, and you're
But
just sitting
I'm
here
not
worried about your
doing-
peace being
But
disturbed.
I'm not doing it.
But you're not doing shit to stop it either. But sitting here worried about your peace being disturbed.
Can you actually where I've come from?
But
Can you
who
tell
I've
us what you're
dealt
doing
with-
for
dealt
Black
with?
lives that are being murdered? Like, can you actually tell us what you personally, both of you guys, are doing for Black lives in America? Like, you might support the cause.
Well, I'm involved in a group that dads that tries to, get, both African American, black and white dads reunited with their fathers. Marvin Charles, he's the.
I know, so if you work with dads, you might even recognize my face because I spoke at your last conference.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a friend of mine, a personal friend.
The fact that you said we're disturbing your peace, the fact that you
appreciate what he's doing.
I don't have peace because I cannot.
I recognize.
Well, do something about it. Don't be sorry. Do something.
So,
I know Marvin and
so
Jeanette.
I would not come in and disturb your peace.
What peace? What peace do I have as a black
I
person
said
in this
if
country?
you had.
I mean, that's, I'm going there.
God, that doesn't apply. That's like, that's,
there. I'm not every
I mean,
week,
if the
but,
sky was fucking green,
so I
the sky
know.
is not green. I do not have
Share
peace.
with us where you come from. We want to hear you. Where do you come from?
Tell us. Go ahead.
We're here to
We'll
listen
hear
to
you.
you.
We'll listen.
And it's in our time. I want you to know that it's in our time. We've been marching. I'm a father. I have 3 kids of my own. I've been marching every day so that we can get to have these conversations with you. So I want to hear from you. I want to learn. Please tell us where you come from.
I'm not going to be put to tell you my childhood.
But you were just offering it to us. I'm an immigrant too. I'm also an immigrant. So please, I come from Mexico. Tell me where you come from.
Can I also say that everybody has a place where they come from. Everybody has their backstories. But that shouldn't matter when you're saying we're disturbing peace and saying and you acknowledge that these individuals out here, these black individuals, do not have peace to go back to. How, as human beings who have said that you care, that you have care, you have compassion and empathy, how can you be okay having peace when you know and acknowledge that people, and not just people, black people, when you're saying communities, I wouldn't go into your communities and disturb peace and then saying they don't have peace and saying and recognizing that. How can you as a human being be okay with black people not having peace? So, great. I'm happy to hear that because I'm sure as hell not okay with that either.
I'm so serious. Do not touch me. Do not touch. Don't touch her.
But if you're not okay with that, then how are you doing something about it?
she was not willing to have a conversation.
Hey, don't.
Oh yeah, stay on the
You guys stay on the
Stay on the side, but also
Make sure you stay, but
You can't be doing that. That's you're hurting your case.
this individual is putting cameras and a face without a mask into everybody's face and putting people in danger, and it's just been asked that they put on a mask and please stop getting into people's face and putting cameras. That's what's been asked. And there's been no interaction. There's been communication.
No, it's not the police.
I wanna hear it.
It's not the police call. I know what phone number she just called. I saw the number.
Either way.
Well, you can't be blocking somebody from walking on a public street.
Oh no, but if somebody's
Put on some different shoes.
and if they're touching your back, just because you're going like
Your
this,
toes
to
are
move,
touching the
yeah,
ground. I'm just saying that it doesn't bode well.
Did we do a visual?
Let's go do it. Fuck these guys.
Let's
go. We're done with this.
We're basically
This is the
right to
right
Black Lives. That's the cause, and like that's the most important
Actually, just
thing.
what I was wondering, and I
They
think
are
that
literally don't get it. They don't get it. They literally don't get it. They don't understand. Good.
We have a political visual.
Yes, they just don't. Whoa, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, shit.
We're gonna go somewhere weird.
Wait.
One hand off.
Not we. They just went to black tie. Damn.
This is super pretty. Oh.
You know what? Leave that shit there to burn. Can I stay over here singing real quick? Yeah. Mr. Soderbergh, big ass.
Does anybody not remember it?
Remember what?
The question I asked? What is being white and they have that bias? Or any prosecutor at all also can't. What do you think that person's role should be in? They can't correctly assess if someone was being racist. And I can go first. First of all, I don't think that person should be white because that person is going to come. Everything's not racist. When it come into cases where so for me, first of all, and they have that bias of color. They or a black person also can't assess correctly. This is my opinion. They can't correctly assess that if someone was being racist. These cases, when it comes to BIPOC people, they need to because they're white closer. And when it's not, everything's not racist. When it is or indigenous. Or so for me, first of all, it needs to be a person of color. My stance or a black person or an indigenous person.
I mean, pretty much all of that. And then on top of that, I think
I also think that
most importantly.
These
there should be
cases,
somebody
when it
else
comes to
before
BIPOC
them
people, they need to be looked at closer
that determines whether
than
that
when it's
happens or not.
non-black people.
Besides
or
these asshole cops. That's not. They don't do shit.
That's my opinion.
I mean, like somebody that's independently don't. You know, somebody else. Pretty much all of that that determines what happens to these BIPOC. Most importantly, because there should be somebody else before them. Not need to be making those decisions. That clearly see whether that happens or not. Lock them up and send them up the road and destroy their lives. That's not. They don't do shit. And now they're just fucked for somebody that's because they live in a society. You know, that somebody else doesn't offer any type of rehabilitation or any type of opportunity. Once they've already been in that culture. Obviously, white people do not need to be making those decisions because we clearly see what some type of intervention before it even gets to that point where they can road and destroy their lives. And now they're just fucked for the rest of their life because they live in a society structure that doesn't a little bit of guidance, rehabilitation, or any type of opportunity. There's a way you can redirect once they've already been in that carceral system. There's a way to redirect without. So there has to be some type of intervention before it even gets to that point where they can. There's a way to redirect in a way that's productive to them. I believe, especially the proper structure and a little bit of guidance, is just you have to meet them on their level sometimes. But if you think, oh well, the bar is way up here, and all you gotta do is reach up there and just try your hardest and you get there, it's different. It's not the same. So you have to have somebody that can meet them where they're at and divert them from that, get to these guys like this guy. That's my opinion.
Who's next?
I'm thinking a lot because I don't really believe in any part of this current system at all. And to get to a prosecutor, like, it's police and like all that shit, and I don't believe in that at all. The other side to that is like, well, Elisha, then what do you believe in at all? Like, what do you believe in? What is the answer? And I'm learning that. I don't know yet. But that's just like, I don't know, food for thought if you want to take it. I just, thinking about BIPOC who are accused of crimes. I mean, we need to assess the whole thing and understand why they're committing these crimes, right? And are they really crimes? Oftentimes we talk about like small things. Like I know kids who've been locked up for like stealing something small or whatever, and then their life is ruined, like gone. They'll never see the light of day because they're just locked up in a box and abused inside that box. And I mean, why do you think that kid allegedly took that small thing? Because they were in need. Why was that kid in need? Because we live in fucking white-ass America, founded on bloodshed, disgusting spirits, evil. That's why. Because the system ain't for us, never has been. That's why fuck this system entirely. This is why we must build something new. And I don't know what that new thing looks like, I just know this ain't it.
Can't get no worse. Shit.
Who's next? I'll point y'all out. I think these are important conversations to have.
River, you wanna go? Verbatim. Come on, Verbatim.
No, I don't got nothing to say.
Yeah, you do. Come on.
Just happy tonight to be out here, and I definitely agree everything you just said. The system definitely needs to be rebuilt. Definitely needs to be put in the hand of a BIPOC person to make decisions for all lives. And this is definitely beautiful that all y'all came out, It's serious. This is what's gonna make change, is that we all just keep doing this every day. Stay consistent.
I'll say something real quick. So we've talked about how a white person can never understand what we're going through right now, and that's true. A white person can never see it the same way we do, or feel it the same way we do when we experience racism. A white person will quite literally never understand. Even if you're disabled, even if you're queer, even if you're trans, literally you will never understand. You might get a little taste of it, but never at the same level as Black folks. And so if we can agree on that, why are we allowing white people to make decisions for America, which is supposed to be a mixing pot? Why are white people in power? Like, I'm not saying there shouldn't be white people, because don't get me wrong, we have an amazing logistics team for EDM, and it's diverse, and there are white people. But it's not as these white people make the decisions, but they help. And it should be like that with whatever system we have after this, because white people can never see life through the same eyes as Black, Indigenous, or people of color. And they can't. Therefore, they cannot make decisions for them. Anyone? No, I'm done.
I'm from the South Mexico, Acapulco, and the last 3 years I've given myself permission to watch like really awful videos about people getting tortured. When I first started getting informed about how many people had died as a result of the war, the drug war in Mexico. 2 million people, I believe. That might be a low number. In the last 10 years, that's a lot more people than all the wars combined, and that's just south of the border. That's where I'm from. I come from, like I was an immigrant. I was an undocumented immigrant for 15 years. And so when I see this movement, I'm here because I was just like, I was here, and all the time I felt awful that a lot of people that I even know, like I disconnected myself from my life because it was hard to see. I had to stop seeing. So many people died. killed many people, and that's from all the guns that come from the United States. And so, when I learned about the apathy that people have here, kind of left me hopeless, you know, but anyway, I've seen a lot of good change lately. So, thanks.
To redirect back to your original question just a little bit.
One second.
Yeah. I think that the person in this position should be someone who is BIPOC. But I think at least until we've abolished the system, there should be somebody who's been through the carceral system and come back out. And I've thought about this for a sum total of maybe 5 minutes, so this is not a thought out, this is food for thought, this is not a full-blown opinion. But I think at the bare minimum, having somebody who understands what kind of trauma that does to a person and holds the gravity of it, rather than just seeing it as a way to disappear people. You know, I think that's a responsibility this person should have, because that is literally the job. You should understand that you are effectively dooming actual human beings with actual human lives, not just, oh, this person is not a person, they're a problem, and I can just get rid of this problem and go home at the end of the day and never think about it again. I get fucked up.
Hey, Grace.
Speaking from that standpoint, it's totally fucked up. It's a totally fucked up system.
I think prosecutors shouldn't see themselves as being like on the same team as police officers. They should be serving the community, and a prosecutor should never be able to accept in a defense plea where an officer is saying that they are scared of an unarmed black person and allow them to get away with making that argument in a court of law.
So we did an analysis, our group, based on the records out of King County Prosecutor Criminal Office. Only 4% of charge cases that they brought to charges went to trial. 4% got their constitutional right to a trial. And of those, only 75% were trial by jury. The other 25, so 1% of all cases were a trial but by a judge with no jury. 79% of cases are plea deals. And what they do in the court system is, we'll give you this, and maybe you get some house arrest or whatever, but if you don't, then we're going to nail your ass to the wall.
Yep.
And then your public defender will say, well, you're just better off taking this. And that is how Dan Satterberg and his ilk, then when it comes up to re-election time, go, see, I'm tough on crime. 79% of the cases that came across my desk ended in guilty convictions. And the whole system is broken, because the reality is, if all of those cases went to trial by jury, by their constitutional right, the court system would collapse, because we've made everything in this country illegal, and we do it to keep the BIPOC and the poor populations down.
That's not justice, that's a threat.
And it's so crazy you say that, because a lot of times what they do too is they give you these deals that are way less than what you were looking at. And then it's like, but you know you ain't did nothing wrong, but it's like you have this fear in the back of your head like, bro, I know I didn't do shit wrong, but bro, I'm scared, because if I do this and they figure it out like this, bro, I'm fucked. I've been in that situation, bro. I've literally been there. Literally been there. And that shit's crazy, because you're thinking like, damn, bro, I know I'm going somewhere, but it's just like, how long do I really want to be gone? how much do I really want to miss? How much of time with my family do I want to miss? What's gonna happen when I'm gone? Like, that shit's really real, bro. And that's how they get 79% of plea deals and all this time out of people. Because it's that fear that's instilled in the back of our heads, like, bro, I either gotta do this or this. And it's that taking the lesser of two evils. Shit. Bro, that's why it's important to know your rights, because if you know what you're doing and you know what they can and can't do to you, then that's more of a chance of you have not being in that predicament. Because that shit's real. That shit is hell.
Look at the horsey.
That fear of being gone for 10 plus years and they know you can do shit wrong.
A little kid.
It's a real possibility that's
Look at the
what
horsey.
Facebook page. It cripples you to taking the lesser of the two evils. And they're happy because they got something. They got to win. They got what they wanted out of the deal. Their conviction rate goes up for that. They get what they want. Why do you think the Feds got a 98% conviction rate? Because they do it in such a way, it makes people think like, damn, I'm really they're happy because they got some shit else to play on. They got to win. They got what they wanted. Take whatever deal they give you. Their conviction rate goes up for that. That shit, they get what they want. That fear is really real. Why do you think the Feds got a 98% conviction rate?
This kind of goes a different direction, but I think even when it comes to prosecuting people for the crimes that they commit, I think it also takes a heart to look at these cases. Like Elijah said, are these really crimes and why were they doing it? I think that's something that should be considered. A personal experience is, I think we were 12, my brother was 13, and my brother allegedly broke into a store. But we were homeless. We would sleep at bus stops. And so he's breaking to the store, and while he's in the store, I remember getting a call from him, and he's like telling me, like, what clothes do you need? Also, their cash register, I can't get it open, allegedly. And telling me all these things, but this is because we didn't have anything. And the reason he was doing this was to provide for the two of us. I have way more siblings, but at the time, my siblings would split off to their friends' house, and some of us wouldn't have friends' houses to go to. And he ended up running from it. He never went to court. And then when we got adopted, that came up because obviously we're in court again so that we can get adopted. And that stuff came up. So he started going to court, trying to get that expunged from his record, even had like our family attorney come in and explain the circumstances. Like, this is the case. Like, they were homeless. They were being abused and neglected. So that's why this child did this. It should be expunged from their record because they were just trying to survive. And they didn't expunge it. It's still on his record to this day. And so every time this is the only example I can think of. I don't agree with the military, but when he was 18, we know how that whole system works when they try to get Black and BIPOC kids to join. And he tried to join it, but he couldn't because that was on his record. And still, when he tries to go do other things, that's going to be there. Like simple jobs with cash registers. It's harder because you have this on your record. But you can't sit there and tell the person that's trying to hire you, like, hey, I was homeless at this time. I was like 13 years old and I was poor. Like, are you not considering those things with these kids? You're fucking up their lives because they're poor or because they're BIPOC, and it's fucked up.
It's illegal to be that shit in this country. It's illegal to be a BIPOC poor kid in this country. It literally is. Assholes like him show it every single day why it's illegal. But instead of understanding, you criminalize this shit. Instead of trying to actually do some good in these kids' lives and help them and maybe divert them back a different way and give them the resources that they need in order not to go that way or whatever the case may be, you criminalize them and you criminalize their behaviors and you send them up the road and hopefully they'll learn from it, but they don't learn. Because at the end of the day, when they come back, if they still don't have those same, if they're still in the same circumstances they were in before they went, the same thing is going to keep happening. The same exact thing is going to keep happening because you're not rehabilitating. You're taking them out of that situation for a little bit of time, and then you're putting them right back there. It's called institutionalization. That's how they institutionalize people. That's how they keep them going back to those institutions because at least there, they have a set schedule, they get fed, they have a bed, they're good, they don't have to worry about shit. Imagine if you gave them those same resources on the streets. Who knows what they'll do with it? But I have a good hunch that it would be a lot better than what they're making it seem. I'm just saying, like, you
Young
can't. You
people are
gotta,
re-traumatized in these institutions. They get their basic. Well, not even all of them. I mean,
Right.
there were
Not
cases
even
where
all
they
of them
weren't
get
even
that.
fed, and like, I mean, it's disgusting. Like, it is disgusting. Like, if you want to see, you can go on Reddit and like look at like CO confessions and shit like that. Like, it's real, and it's disgusting, and it's like, you know, just as Tito was saying, like taking them out of their already shitty situation and then putting them into another shitty situation because they were trying to get out of that one. Like, it's just a whole cycle of like, it's a trap. It's like, it's a trap. It's some kind of, it's like a fucking cult or something. Because
definitely a cult.
if you know, we look at some things like, oh shit, that's taboo, that shouldn't happen. Like, oh, trafficking underground, that's bad. That's what this is, in broad daylight. And no one, it seems, no one, not us, but like, not enough people care about it. Yeah.
That 1%.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck.
But this is happening. This is they are the criminals. The fucking system. They are the criminals.
Well, look at California with the wildfire firefighters. So California, if you're in the prison system, they're like, hey, you can go fight the forest fires, and we're going to pay you slave labor to do it. We're going to train you everything to be a firefighter. And then when they get out, up until a couple of months ago, sorry, you got a criminal record. You can't be a firefighter. And the only reason they made the change is because COVID had wiped out the number of possible firefighters to deal with the fires in California that were historic this year. And because the numbers were so depleted and they had the need, the forcing function, that was the only reason they made the change. Why would you make them jump through all that hoop, dangle that carrot, and then say, fuck you, you can't be a firefighter. But thank you for serving and protecting property while risking your life.
So that's what they do. It's the same thing. They'll let you give them your money to go to school to be something in their system, but the second you try to be something in their system, oh, nope. It's always like that. To be real with you, only place you can really be a felon and actually make a good enough ways to do something is construction. Literally. Literally.
Only a felon on the record.
Literally. Like, I'm in the laborers union. The laborers union is made up of 80% minority and people with backgrounds. Literally. Because we can go break our backs for this system to get paid that money, but we just can't advance to it. We can't get to a place where we can own something in there. But we can break our backs for it though. And that's bullshit. And 9 times out of 10, those opportunities don't even arise. Construction opportunities and opportunities like that don't even arise unless you come out that system. Unless you go through the carceral system and come out. Literally. Because that's the only way I found out. Literally, that I could even possibly go that route. So I went through that system and came out. But again, it just shows you that they'd rather destroy your life and watch you come out and struggle to pick the pieces up versus that I can even give you a foundation to so I went through that possibly do it on top of it. The system doesn't believe it, it just so never has. It never has believed it. I'd rather destroy your life, it never has. And I think it's about high time that this shit starts believing in us. We make it believe in us. Because goddamn it, ain't none of us gonna get nowhere until all of us get somewhere. And can't none of us do this without the other. It's like somebody over here always says, I'm not gonna put them on the spot, but Pike Place Market wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our immigrant brothers and sisters, or siblings in general. There's a lot of things in this world that wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people who are not white. Black and BIPOC people. There's a lot of shit that wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us. So I think it's about high time that we all change that shit and change the way this shit works. That shit's bullshit. Because can't none of us coexist here without the other. Literally. If you ask me.
Conversation is redirected, but you can also speak on this. But I would like, we would all like more voices.
again, these conversations are really important to have. If we're painting a better future, we have to do it together. That's why we're here, right? Unified. Conversation matters. Chanting isn't the only thing.
You can always write something down and ask a friend to say it for you if you're nervous.
Right.
But also, it's okay to just, fuck up your words as much as you want to here.
I'm a prime example. I'll be fucking up my words all the time. I'm like, I'm making any sense right now.
Right.
I'd like to ask if any white people here want to share their experience and difficulty with their family members, close friends that you might have not talked to and have not considered talking to because you know that relationship might turn out to be challenging. Does anybody want to share about that, or like, do you feel nervous about talking to your family? Are there ways in which you can be helped to be encouraged? Those kind of things. The white person going through those things.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to my parents today. I mean, it's hard to call it progress. I don't know. I mean, I think I shared a lot with them about last night. I talked about mental illness and struggles with my own, and with the institutions involved. And they just, I mean, there's no imagination that they could even be racist. I mean, and just saying it is so, I mean, even like, I've been talking to them for like a year about this stuff, and I mean, even now, it's like, I feel like they're actually even starting to listen, or like, that they're on their heels in even the tiniest way, but, I mean, I've committed to keeping on talking to them, and that's good, they're agreeing to, but it's, oof. Yeah, I mean, they're in their 60s, and that's a lot of unlearning. I don't know.
It takes time and conversation sometimes. That's something I have to work on too, is like immediately after saying it, like they're not gonna get it, especially after thinking in a certain way for a long time. It takes a little bit. Sometimes it takes other people longer. But it takes a minute. I've said this before, but every white person saying this is racist. Like, regardless if you want to admit it or not, you guys uphold the racist system, regardless if you want to admit it or not. And it takes a long time to unlearn it. It takes a lifetime to unlearn that privilege and the habits that you have. It's not easy. It's not easy having conversations with people. It should be easy to unlearn racism, but it's not easy having conversations trying to do so.
I've been having some really difficult conversations with my parents lately, kind of similar to what you were talking about. And I think that it can be hard to kind of consciously be bringing up these issues that will cause a further divide. I think I am privileged enough to have parents who typically we get along really well. They're really compassionate. It can be hard, so it can be really easy to just kind of fall back bringing up these. We're only going to talk about things that we agree on. Divide. I think especially, just like I think I am privileged enough to have parents who I think that's typically we get along really well. They're really compassionate. I think when so it can be really easy to just kind of fall back into privilege. We're only going to talk about things that we agree on, or we're only going to sitting there and listening to stay in harmony. But I think that's kind of there can be like this. That's exactly kind of cognitive dissonance. I think too about how they have thought their whole lives, kind of using that privilege. If you have sitting in front of them that they trust, saying something different, or talking, sitting there and listening to you and willing to have such a long, conversation like have, and it takes kind of time for them to start cognitive dissonance and things too about how they have thought their whole lives, that they have someone sitting in front of them for trust, saying something different.
I think that the price on colonization is really high, and it took such a long time for these systems to get to a certain place that we are today. It take honestly just this long to be having the conversations to improve that. I think that price on colonization is high, and for settlers to be such a long time for these systems to get to a certain place that we are today. Systems get created honestly just this long to be having the conversation that it's not going to happen. Colonizing is important for settlers to be desettling and not to put in the energy and put in the effort to build the systems that were created that it's bound to be a 5-year, 4-year, like 3-year conversation that it's not going to happen in a week because colonization didn't happen in a week, you know.
I'd just like to add to that, I know that a lot of us
you have to put in the energy and put in the effort and be willing to take time and know that if it's going to be a 5-year, 4-year, like 3-year conversation, then it's going to be that in order
Flint,
to
Michigan,
get
yeah.
to a
I lived there during the water crisis. I moved here like 4 years ago. I'd just like to add to that. I know that a lot of us in 2014 are having maybe some uncomfortable conversations right now. My dad, I remember in 2014 was, I'm Dre, by the way. I'm from Flint, Republican of Flint, Michigan, yeah. I lived there during the water crisis. About everything that was going on with my family, and in 2014, it was exhausting. Even though he was seeing all of my dad really was definitely racist and happening around him. Water crisis, like it took a long time, but my dad, I mean, I remember, but he says ACAB now, like, it was exhausting. Like, it took a long time, but, you know, and like, he talks about it all the time, like, racism happening around him, that are racist, and he stops himself right in that moment. It took a long time, but my dad, I mean, you know, very hard. He says ACAB now, and sometimes, like, like, it took a long time, but, you know, and like, he talks about it all the time, like, he thinks things that are racist, and then he stops himself right in that moment, and it's like, this is racist.
Crying
So,
because of the way
you know, it's hard.
my family decided to talk
And
about
sometimes,
people,
like,
and it's just so like
I went through times of not
nasty,
talking to him.
disgusting
Sometimes
to
that's
me,
what
and I
it's,
like
you know,
yeah, I
it's
put
like
up a fight too
sacrifice.
because I don't know, I just saw things.
I remember I
differently,
used
and
to sit in the back of my car.
I know nobody can see how
crying
I see
because
out
of
the way my family decided to talk about people, and it's just so like, and that's a beautiful nasty thing, you know, to be able to come together. And I like with all those like yeah, I put up a fight too because but like yeah, now I have a 6-year-old sister, and I like, and I know that nobody can see how I see. I can't see how anybody else can see. Everybody's perspective is like she's just so open, and that's a beautiful thing, loving, you know, to be able to come together. You know how everybody should fucking be like. But like yeah, now with an open heart, I have a 6-year-old sister, and to want to understand and not like age gap, always being able to understand, but to just and what she sees is like, and like she's just so open and open, she's so loving, just like everybody's experience. You know how everybody should fucking be like. Yeah, look at people and just like with an open heart and an open mind and like and to want to understand and not like always be able to understand. And I hope it keeps happening. Put yourself forward, because if it doesn't, then we're fucked. Open yourself to experience everybody's like experience, pushing for it to happen. Yeah, like it's I don't know, it's good. Like you know, like seeing that in the new generations, and I hope it keeps happening, because if it doesn't, then we're fucked. But like just keep pushing for it to happen.
So, you know, a lot of times what goes through my head is blood is thicker than water, but so is mud. And I hate to even have to think about that. But so, when we have a couple of relatives along the road, a lot of times families, what goes through my head is when it comes to them, blood is thicker than water, but so is mud. They are pro-police. I hate to even have to think about that. American flag dress wearing type, like when I have bullshit, a couple of and it breaks my heart. Families, you know, right now. That I don't know, and like they are relatives close in the line to me. I'm not gonna say we're in the line, but like close in the line, dress wearing type, like this. Like bullshit against everything. Breaks my heart that we are doing out here, and that I don't know. I just like I know I'm sharing this because I'm close in the line. I'm not going to say we're in line, but like my heart close in the line. Like this. Are against everything that we really appreciate y'all. And you know, in the beginning of this uprising, I'm just sharing a lot of like just kind of I want to explain like this is blah blah blah. Thank you. But then I realized that some people really appreciate y'all. And this kind of goes against what I'm even preaching, right? Because we should be having our in the beginning of this uprising, at this moment, I cannot with some people. Just kind of like people who, I want to explain like this is what blah blah. I consider my angels. But then I realized with some people, and this kind of goes against what I'm even preaching, right? Because we shouldn't be having our but I realized for myself at this moment, because I cannot with some people. I can't look them in the face, knowing that like people who we're the same. And I consider my angels right next to me. To be honest, it's like I'm not here fighting for your black ass, and you're gonna like go ahead and wave your fucking American flag talking about like. I can't, because like, come on now. I can't look in the face. You know what I'm saying? So I love them from afar. I have love for them. I have no hatred in my heart. It's like, to be honest, it's like I'm not here fighting for your black ass, and you're gonna like go ahead and wave your fucking American flag talking about like use my energy and turn that into something negative and let them, you know what I'm saying? Make me become upset when I can take that very same energy and put it I have love for that. I have no hatred in my heart. But I just realized that I will not. I refuse to use my energy and turn that into something negative and let them make me become upset when I can take that very same energy and put it toward the greater good.
It's super different between white and black people because that's really on the wire. If I'm having a rough day and I'm already gone, I maybe don't obligate that conversation, but I am obligated to never entirely stop having that conversation with my friends and family. Super different, but between white and black people, because I should be forced to educate. If I'm having a rough day and I'm already gone, I maybe don't have room for that conversation, nuanced and convoluted, and it's going to be different for obligated to never entirely stop having that conversation with my friends and family. But you shouldn't be. You guys shouldn't be forced to educate the nuance. You have to anybody who doesn't want to listen. Where does my responsibility? And that's it. Nuanced and convoluted, and it's going to be different for yourself and to other people on their identity. That's something I've been thinking about for really this whole movement is when. But can I step back and when am I obligated? Complicated and nuanced, and you have to think about that. And you have to say, where does my responsibility? Is this pushing? Like a growth pushing, or is this a damage pushing to yourself and to other people? That's something I've been thinking about for really this whole movement is when that's my favorite perspective on this conversation. Am I obligated to I think it's really interesting. Push myself, and is this pushing a growth pushing, or is this a damage pushing?
It's also,
and I think that's my favorite perspective on this conversation. I think it's really
hard conversations too. Like an example was yesterday that man that tried to run through the crowd, that was a black man. The I-5, that was a black man. Some of the incidents also, those were black people, like black people, and hard conversations too. Like an example at the beginning when day one when it all started happening, all of my family was talking about it. That was a black man. And some of them even went the incidents in shop days. Those were black people because they seen that it was happening. And then finally I got to at the beginning when day one when it all started happening. All of my family was talking about it. And some of them even went the first couple of Saturdays parties because they seen that it was happening. Finally got the chance to come to their Sunday dinner. Finally, I got to go to a Sunday dinner because I kept going out to marches and I'd seen my family. I would consider them really close to be really happy about it, but they weren't really having like conversations with me about exactly what this movement Saturdays parties or seeing it as families really going out. And so I finally got the chance to come to another Sunday dinner. It started to go on, and then my family was like really happy, and they had been pissed at me about me not being around as much, and they were really or about me being out late, or even mad at me conversations about exactly what this movement meant. They seriously upset and like yelling things like, who do you think you are? And then they started to go on, and then going down the streets again. And those were hard conversations that I have around as much, more about me being out late, or even mad at me gathering about me there for like an hour. I was like seriously upset. I was yelling hard conversations that I have to have. It's not right that you guys don't. The last time I was at a family gathering and I was there for like an hour. Listen, I was on the balcony. Those are hard conversations that are happening in Black households. And I started crying just because you're Black doesn't mean you care about this. Like it's not right that you guys don't talk to me. There are a lot of Black people every time I have a conversation with Bill about what's going on. A lot of BIPOC people. And those are hard conversations that are happening in Black households. Like it's really just because you're Black to have these conversations. It's especially hard to have this conversation like with my white birth mom. There are a lot of Black people with colonized minds. A lot of BIPOC people. So these conversations are also happening. Like it's really hard to have these conversations. It's especially hard to have this conversation with my white birth mom who thinks that she's sure. Let's run. At least 2 more people, please. So this conversation is also happening. Not there. You're not.
Hi, my name is Mariah. She, her. My dad is a fire chief, and
let's run.
Differences there.
At least 2 more people, please. That haven't
right around like Father's Day. Not there. Posting on Facebook. My name is Mariah. She, her. Arrest the cops. My dad is a fire chief. Trending. I reposted something like that. And he texted me. Differences there. He was like, you need to like delete that off Facebook. Right around like Father's Day. I was like, I don't know why. Like posting on Facebook because I still said not all cops are murderers. You know, arrest the cops for murder. I didn't say that, but like trending, different issue there. Like that. I was like, I said arrest the cops. And he texted me Taylor, like, and he was like, you need to. Don't think that was like murder. Delete that off Facebook. Check out your facts. And go look again. And I was like, you know why? He had the audacity to say to me, he said not all cops are murderers. Posts like that would get good people killed. I didn't say that, but like you know, good different issue there. Killed. And I was like, I said arrest the cops. Never murdered been Taylor, like disappointed in my dad before or felt so little respect for him, but. And he had the audacity to say to me, rough. I cried. Posts really like that will get good people killed. A lot of stuff has been going on in my family personally since then, so I've never the conversations and I've blocked like disappointed in my dad before or felt so little respect for him, but the most that was really fucking rough. I cried really hard. Figure out my place in this, so I really a lot of stuff has been going on that I've shared like what they've done with their families, so I haven't pushed the conversations and I've blocked like him and my family members literally need to push that really shitty because they're the ones that need to cut them off for a little bit. Like I'm really scared to do that because I'm really close with my figure out my place in this. So I really appreciate other people that have shared like what they've done with their families and their dads specifically. Family, you're not alone. Sometimes maybe literally need to and they're not racist, but I don't think they're cut them off for a little bit. Like I'm really scared to do that because I'm really conversation with my family, but I am still having these conversations and just know that if you have shitty family, you're not alone. My parents are really good people and they're not racist, but I don't think they're actively anti-racist, and that means conversations still need to happen. Thank you for sharing your stories with your family.
As part of this movement is hearing people of color talk about their story, and particularly talking about their stories with the prison system. Because I've never been there. I could have been there, but a lot of lucky things happened in my life. First off, getting economic background, particularly talking about their stories, meeting myself out of the city. I've never been there. I could have been there, and a lot of lucky things happened in my life. First off, talking about the economic background and the reality of the prison system, and meeting myself out of the city. But I feel like it can be missing if you're honest, when there's not like that personal level connection with their story. I hear a lot of really color talking about their frustration. When I hear someone talk about what they saw, the reality of what they heard, maybe even as valid detail, I think that's something that I feel like I don't think anybody has an obligation. Not like that personal talk about that, but when I hear that, like something really powerful. For me, when I hear someone talk about what they saw and what they heard, maybe even in excruciating detail, I think that's something that I don't think anybody has an obligation. I want to hear more about that, but when as much as you want to share, it's something I want to hear more of. It's powerful, and it's meaningful, and it's valuable. That's all I gotta say.
It fuels the fire.
I mean, it's just
Thinking about you two, I want to hear more about your story. As much as you want to share.
but like, it's just not a mindset you really want to be in, you know? That mindset of being locked up is not what you want to be. It's just, I don't know, it's not really the place to have your brain switch to. Like out here, my brain switches there sometimes. It's not a mindset because of the situations out here. It's like you always got a mindset around. You always got to make sure you're good. So it's like being out here, my brain switches to that mode sometimes. Being locked up, your brain switches to because it's the same scenario, just your brain switches more wide open out here because of the situation. Sometimes you'll catch me looking around all the time to make sure you're good. Making sure that it's like I know what's around me. Being out here, my brain switches to that mode sometimes. Being locked up, mentality is that because it's the same scenario, just more wide open out here. So sometimes you'll catch me like just looking around. It's just one of those things you always got making sure like me personally, what's around me because back in my mind, like even it's that I know institutionalized mentality is going on. Mentality of it's always not knowing that somebody's gonna take a swing at you. What's gonna happen? Have I done anything that might send my ass back to prison lately? It's just one of those things. That constant thoughts always run through my head. Me personally, I always think about it in the back of my mind. Like what's gonna happen? You know? Now I know once you go through that, nothing's going on. It's always it's one of those things that always happens come around. It's like have I done anything that might send my ass back to prison scared about it, but you know, at the end of the day, that constant thought always runs through my head, risking our lives. But I mean, it's one thing to happen, you know. Once you all might be scared. Once you go through that, it's kind of one thing to be scared, but it's another thing to be brave. It's one of those things that always happen to you. So it's a totally other thing to be brave. At the end of the day, I mean, because we might all scared about it, scared as fuck every single day, but we're brave enough to come out here and risking our lives. Because at the end of the day, we know this is what has to be done. We all might be scared, so it's one thing to be scared, but it's another thing to be brave. I'm a little scared. It's a totally other thing to be brave. A little bit because we might all come out here scared as fuck every single day, but we're brave enough to come out here and do it. Because at the end of the day, we know this is what has to be done. Coming out here and being brave is more important than being scared of being locked up. Sometimes I go in those modes. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little scared because at the end of the day, if you're scared of being locked in a box, because it's that fight and they're winning either way because they beat you mentally. Mentally, they broke you down to being scared of being put in a box. So they're winning. They are here being brave is more important than being scared of being locked back up in a box.
Learned helplessness.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
because at the end of the day, if you're scared of being locked in a box,
fucked up stuff.
I mean, they're winning either way because they beat you mentally. Mentally, they broke you down to being scared of being put in a box.
If you put a bunch of rats
so they're winning.
together in a cage,
they already won because they beat you mentally.
You put trees, you know what that makes me think of? It's learned helplessness there. Like, and then you start shocking rats when they go over there. Stuff people are doing to animals.
We're gonna keep going because
if you put a bunch of rats together in a cage, there's an experiment where they were doing this and they started shocking the other rat, and they learned that the treats are there. And then you start shocking rats when they go over there.
We're gonna keep going because they know it's where they're supposed to go for their treats. Yeah.
Once there was an experiment where they were doing this and they started shocking the other rats. Like a rat would go and they'd get the treat and then it'd shock all the other rats and the other rats would attack it. And once they took the shocks away, all these rats still did the same thing when a rat came over and got that treat. Like it just, like this cycle of trauma just kept on continuing.
I hear why you said it, but it's also like white people have been comparing us to animals since the beginning of time. I don't like that.
Honestly, that makes me think of Frederick Douglass and how people didn't believe him, and when he was going around speaking in northern states, white people wanted to hear about his trauma. They wanted to, you know, because they didn't believe him, and so they wanted to hear the gruesome details. But like, I mean, take the man on his word. It's just like, I don't know. I mean,
That's a trend in this
it's like,
country.
you know, you see someone's eyes and you can tell that they've been through something, and all you got to do is just be there for that person, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's really valid. May I come back a little, because you were, and you're holding me to account in a good way. I feel like understood and appreciated in like a genuine way, because you're holding me to account here. I guess, okay, there's a few things that I'm thinking about in response to that. First off, when I'm telling other people who aren't on board with this, having something like meaningful that can touch them on a deep level holds a lot of weight. If you can get somebody to empathize with that, then you can change their minds. When people are stubborn, hearing a story is something that can really touch them. Secondly, when I was a teenager, I took a variety of ADHD drugs that permanently altered my brain chemistry, and I stopped having any sort of emotional, empathic connection with anybody. And I spent most of my teenage years as a very sociopathic person. I had difficulty just, when I would see people in pain, I'd see people hurt, like I recognized, like, oh, I don't think that should be good, but I didn't have any visceral response to any of these things. And that is the way I felt through most of this movement too. Like, there's a missing piece for me because I have difficulty connecting with other people on an empathic level, and it's changed a lot, and it feels like it's getting better, but why I'm driven to do that is because I want to get to a point where I can actually like feel a connection and understand it, because that gives me more, motivation, and it means that I feel like I can project an energy that's more helpful in the ways that I can. And I guess also I recognize that a lot of people maybe haven't had exactly that experience that I talked about, but I think a lot of people have had their heartstrings cut in one way or another. They've become cold and unfeeling. And I think that the most powerful tool people have in their arsenal is that story. And I understand what you mean, that when you've gone through trauma, you might not want to hear about it. You might not want to hear it shared. That makes sense to me, and I respect that. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Well, I think that Black, Brown, and Indigenous narratives are important. I think the point is that, you know, our trauma is not for white consumption, period, point blank.
Poverty porn.
Yeah, there's a lot of trauma porn all over Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that, and it's not anything that white folks will ever understand on that deeper level. So, I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there, and I think that's kind of the direction we're kind of going with that. But
I have a response to this, although if a person of color has something more to say, please cut me off, because I talk a lot and I know that, and I want to pass the mic if it needs to be passed, but what you're talking about of not being able to empathize very well is almost a smaller scale of why this happens on a larger scale. Is we're taught from birth to not see people of color as people and taught not to empathize with them. And it's easier to empathize with you guys when we get to hear about your traumas. And by the way, TK, thank you for sharing that. I'm really honored that I got to hear it. that's you guys doing the work for us, is what it is. Is like, I shouldn't have to know your story to care, or I shouldn't have to experience empathy in order to be doing the work. And it's also my job to take apart all of the reasons that I don't have that same empathy, and to work on that myself without having to hear all of the details of your stories. Even from minimal details, or even from you guys saying, you know, I'm from a group that's been through a lot of things, I should be taking that as enough to empathize with you. I don't need to you shouldn't be trying to stimulate my empathy to pull me in, to motivate me. I should be motivating myself, and I should be unpacking that, and I should be doing the work.
We're also here to like stand against police brutality, and so I don't know why you would have to see that in order to feel something, in order to feel like this suddenly makes sense as to why you're here. You shouldn't have to hear the details of the trauma in order to realize that this wouldn't be organized at the beginning of the night before any conversation even happened if there wasn't trauma as a precursor to this event, you know, or any of the events that have happened for the last 154 days, you know.
This almost goes into the ableism that exists in our society against people who struggle with automatic empathy and people who have sociopathy. What's the...
Sociopathic tendencies.
The actual... Not oppositional defiance, antisocial personality disorders, is what I was looking for. Is you don't need to feel empathy in order to have sympathy and have compassion. You don't need to be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes in an automatic way in order to care about them and in order to try and help them on a personal level and on a systemic level.
I think something that white people need to understand, and it's something I'm just starting to understand, is you can have shared experiences in protest. You can be pepper sprayed and tear gassed and rubber bulleted and run for your life and thrown on the ground with batons. But, you know, I'll speak for my own personal life. I get to go back to my town that is 99% white. It's 99% white because it was founded on racist roots of white-only neighborhoods. And no one's going to look at me cross-eyed when I go into the grocery store. No one's going to pull their purse closer because of that. A person of color can't change, if you say you're Asian, their physical appearance. They may have, they may have Asian features, but they may be very light-skinned. A black person doesn't go home and peel their skin off. We will never understand, no matter how it's explained to us, no matter how much we will never fully understand their experiences.
There's a million
so all we can try to do is emphasize and work to change the system so that the system is equal, truly equal for everybody. Because right now we live in a system that is just apartheid, has a nice shiny veneer on it. It has some chrome and some flashy lights. But that's what we live in.
I don't even like that like that shit. I really don't. Because, I mean, it might seem like it, but I really don't. Because, why? Why would I want to? Not like it was just this good thing and not that happen. Like, sometimes we have to also think about, like, well, you white people have to think about, like, yeah, maybe the person doesn't want to talk about that. Maybe that was just the worst thing. Like,
Yeah.
Before we start being so interested in it. Because not everybody wants to talk about it. Not everybody wants to even hear about it. I damn sure don't even like talking about it. It's just, it gets asked so many goddamn times, it's just like, whatever. Yeah. But like, that shit is not like something we should all be like, you guys as white people should be fucking so interested in, because it's been happening. It's not like it just started. It didn't start with me. It didn't start with anybody sitting here. It's been happening. It didn't just all of a sudden pop up in 2020. That shit didn't start here. Because truth be told, there's people that worse have happened to than me. Or anybody sitting here. Actually, somebody sitting here actually went through worse than I did. To be real. I'm being completely honest. This shit didn't just start this fucking year though. It's been fucking happening for centuries. It's been happening. It didn't just start now. It didn't just start 5 years ago. It didn't start 2 years ago. It's been happening. So they still have this, for white people, to still have this infatuation with it, like it just started. It's crazy because it hasn't. It didn't just start here. It might have just been brought to your attention, but I encourage us all to go back into the history books. Not the ones that they taught in school either. Go back into the history books that you don't know about. Go back into the history that they didn't teach you.
People's history of the United States.
Start there. That's a great place to start if you ask me. Howard Jenner is a great place to start if you ask me. But go back and look at that shit. And maybe you guys as white people will not be so infatuated with knowing so much about it or wanting to hear about it because it's not something that should be really talked about. Because let's be real, as they're saying, what's understood shouldn't have to be explained. And if we all understood that and why those things are happening, I don't think we would really much want to hear it explained too much, if you ask me. Because I understand it. So I really could care less about hearing it explained to me. I've lived it. Like I said, there's somebody sitting amongst us right now that went through worse than what I did. So.
And honestly, I hear so much that we're here to protest against police brutality, but y'all, it's so much more than this. This country was not only built on stolen land, but by stolen people. Like, y'all get that? Like, literally the founding of this nation wasn't its actual founding. Like, at all. This isn't just a police thing. It never has, it never will be. TK was just talking about education. Our education system is so messed up. It's so messed up. Our students, our youth are still in a messed up education, hurting during COVID. Like, the differences is surmountable. And even more than that, our health care. From black women dying in childbirth, so much more than white women, to COVID, black people dying so much more, and indigenous dying more than anyone, when they're the smallest number. Like, there is so much injustice in this country, and if you were here 2 days ago, we were talking about, like, y'all need to be educating yourself on this. Because the schools aren't going to do it for you. That Thanksgiving dinner, which honestly, hello genocide, you shouldn't be having it, isn't going to do it. It's not. Your families, I wish they would do it, but we're learning from how many racist parents y'all got. Like, you gotta be educating yourself. And you gotta educate your neighborhood. You gotta educate your classroom. I'm gonna keep doing it, but I don't wanna do the chant right now. Because at the end of the day, y'all, this is so much more than police. Like, it is so much more. Like, I just wish y'all got it. Because sometimes I wonder, I'm about to have a surgery, for example, and I was telling someone that I'm probably going to either do the surgery in, like, Atlanta or DC or somewhere where there's a lot of black people so I could find a black doctor. This person's like, well, what if the doctor here is just as good? But the doctors here are white. And in this country, there's a history of white people and white doctors messing up black women. So I'm done with taking those chances.
Amen.
Nah. And those things, like, it is so much more than police. Like, I just wish you guys could do... I just encourage you to do, like, homework and be like, what are the ways black people are disenfranchised in the U.S.? Or what are the ways black people have been hurt or brutalized by the healthcare system, or the education system, or the law system, like, or the library card system, literally any system.
Like, the criminal justice system that's fucked.
It's really not. Like,
It literally is not.
and
This is just one part.
I just said that like every white person here is racist, and y'all aren't police. I hope.
I'm surprised if one of you guys end up being the police. I'll be upset.
But you know that goes along with saying like it's not just about police, and I think we come out here and talk about much more than police. I hope maybe we should start talking about it more. But today I had a conversation with my little sister's principal and the assistant principal because the fucking teacher told her Black Lives Matter is political and told that teacher off. And when I got to talk to the black lady of the school that was a part of this investigation, I told her ass too. This Black Lives Matter shit is not just about the police. It's in the schools too. It's in the schools too, and it's starting there. It's starting there where you're gonna teach my young one that a teacher can shut her down and tell her the color. I'm sorry, ours. TK is getting sensitive. Can teach our young one that the color of her skin is political. So then when she goes out there and something does say happens with police, she has fucking teachers in the back of her head telling her this shit is political and she should have shut up and stopped fucking talking about it. It's beyond that. It's especially in our schools.
Yeah.
Especially in our schools.
Literally, this education system, this year, I got the privilege to drive one of my students back to their school, Graham Hill, and threw the textbook on the table, and I'm like, why does it say that white Europeans in the U.S. had indentured servants that were willing to come to the U.S.? Why does it say that? At Graham Hill, a predominantly black school, why does it say that? Because when we look at integration, one of the worst parts of integration, you kick black people out from teaching, and you had white teachers who did not want those kids to be there, spit on them, yelled at them, threatened them, and are still teaching them lies to this day. I mean, Ruby Bridges, for example, y'all need to look it up. Like, there were own teachers who left the school. Teachers who threatened to poison her. There was only one teacher in that whole entire school that wanted her there. And those things get passed on. It's a generational PTSD. It's generational trauma that continues to get passed down.
Racism is fucking passed down too. They told me today, literally, and Tika can vouch for this because we were both on this call, that it's okay for teachers not to agree with Black Lives Matter being human rights or it being political as long as they don't talk about it. No, the fuck, it's not. They are teaching these children. They are teaching these children. And the lady called it a luxury now that they can look back at the Zoom calls and see what these teachers are saying to them. Thank fucking God. But this teacher has been a teacher for, we said 4 years, but I don't know what she was before that, but at this school for 4 years. And there wasn't cameras in the classroom before that. So what the hell is she doing? Teaching these kids. Why the fuck is she even talking to these kids when she's supposed to be an ASL teacher? My fucking ASL teacher didn't talk to me. Never heard that lady's voice. The hell are you in there talking about Black Lives Matter and cops for? Like, it's some bullshit. It's some bullshit.
Especially if you're telling them they can't bring their political views to the classroom. Well, obviously that shit ain't working. Your training and your equality bullshit ain't working.
They are founded on equity at Pierce County is what they say.
You have
they
the
are
right
founded on equity.
Right idea.
Well, I'm fucking done with equity. I need liberation.
For real. It's some reparations. God damn it.
Yeah.
Because ain't none of us free till we all free.
Can I bring up one more thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, I love that enthusiasm. So, a while ago, not too long ago, actually, it was, Sophia was speaking about this being beyond police brutality. And that made me think about the season. We're getting close to like the holidays, you know, and like Christmas is a big thing, and Black Friday, and all these things, Cyber Monday, whatever else there's going to be, all of that is like capitalism. Like that feeds directly into capitalism. And I feel that that's important because all this money, all the wealth that is in America is in the hands of only a few. And that shouldn't be. Like, I always say, like, how many cars can you drive at once? How many watches do you need to have on your arm?
How high can you get?
Yeah.
Too
But
high.
like, my point is that people need to think about these things and break it down. Like, you don't need to do like Black Friday, you don't need to do Cyber Monday. Like, if you're afraid of losing, sorry, my voice is fucked. I've been yelling in the street. But if you feel like you're losing some kind of tradition, and I understand, like, there's like a feeling that comes with this, and there's like, you know, the people and like the smell in the air and like whatever. Like, create something new. Like, create a new tradition. Like, maybe this year, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna give you the idea, but you dream up your own idea. Like, you don't need Christmas or like whatever, and if it's for religious reasons, I'm not gonna go into that, but like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to feed into these things. Like, you can make your own thing and like make it consciously.
My fucking dad. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you say Kwanzaa?
Yeah, I've
Yes.
been celebrating Kwanzaa how long now?
Yeah.
Can one of you please, I'm so sorry, explain what Kwanzaa is to me? Because my fucking dad has so many kids. He said, this year we're not celebrating Christmas, we're doing Kwanzaa.
It's the
And so listen, we're waiting, because Kwanzaa, from my understanding, you get gifts.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. No, there was nothing. He said it's just candles.
No.
I didn't get shit.
There's some gifts, but each one has like a meaning to it. And then also there's like each day represents
a theme
within just the African American community, and then also takes parts of different parts of Africa. And so like say one community or one candle, pretty sure it's Ubuntu, which is like I am because we are, and it's this idea that whatever I do is going to come back to my community, and whatever my community does is going to come back to me. We're all connected, which like once we abolish the SPD, that's going to be some Ubuntu happening. Help me not. And so for like that day, you would go out and do something to help your community and things like that.
And I'll also say that like there are many Black people who also are they're anti-Kwanzaa, I guess. Anti would be, yeah. Come again?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, please, like
No, I was saying you shouldn't be. It's a beautiful holiday.
Well, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, the Kwanzaa was started, was it by the Black Panther Party? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so it's kind of like a recent thing. And
they weren't the only ones, but they definitely had a big hand at least the new early thing. Keep talking, I'm gonna do some research.
Speaking with a few members of the community who wanted to add something to Kwanzaa, like an extra day or like self-defense. Some members who have been doing Kwanzaa for a while did not like that because it interrupted their tradition already. So people with whom I was speaking, they decided to, you know, they respected that and they kind of brought their own like adjacent kind of thing. And I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you don't do Kwanzaa or if you want to bring something to Kwanzaa or like whatever, like make something, like do what you want to do, but like, you know, be respectful and make sure you're doing it mindfully is what I'm saying. So Kwanzaa or no Kwanzaa, I think like as long as your heart is in the right place, it's all good. And you know, like if another black person comes up to me and is like, I don't fuss with Kwanzaa, I'm like, cool. Like,
It's good. I think that's another thing we all should realize. We do not have to all believe, well, in this movement we do. Black Lives Matter, you can't disagree. You feel me? You can't disagree on that, but like, as far as like what you believe in, what you celebrate, we don't all have to agree on that. Yeah. It's okay to be different when it comes to those types of things. Even just as people, it's okay to be different.
No, it's not. Who told you that?
I mean, but celebrating the
I
fucking,
forgot where I was going with that. Literally,
like,
the somewhere impeccable.
the fourth type shit, so like, I'm not down with that.
No,
Independence Day for who?
America.
So, that's what I'm talking like, I don't fuck with that.
But more so like actual real tradition is what I think you're talking about. Like people that come from outside of America and bring their traditions with them. Those are not the KKK of it.
Not the bullshit they taught you here.
Yeah, let's roll out because it's super late. Thanks everybody.
Thank you once again for leading, being an incredible speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. And I gotta sing on Halloween. So I forgot about that. I'm not doing it.
You got them damn shoes on.
I wanted to say touch upon his comment that you were talking about with like Black Friday. I mean, why is it so? I'm sorry.
Hey, TK.
You know we do.
Hey.
What's up, Kazin?
Can I get you to explain? Oh, sorry. To explain to me the significance of this house again? Because his name is Dan Shitty Burger or some shit, right?
Yes?
Want to say that again, buddy?
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you if you could just explain one more time what the significance of this place is. Who the guy that because there's people that weren't here in the beginning, and I just want them to know exactly why we're here. And it would be a lot better coming from you.
Good. Come on. Satterberg, babe.
Satterberg. I always say his last name wrong. But he is the King County prosecutor. As far as like between when the protest started and September, there were 20 protesters who are still being charged with felonies. Yeah, between that time period. I don't know up to date now, but they're still being charged with felonies because of things that have happened during protests. And our third demand is to free all protesters. So, of course, giving him a visit to remind him that.
Right.
And just have conversation and open dialogue about
Yeah, and he didn't come out. Obviously, he turned off all of his lights and everything, and in his nice multi-million-dollar mansion. This looks like.
Yeah, I think it's $4 million.
Oh, you know the numbers, of course.
Yeah, I think it was.
That's like a $4 million house.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, yeah. But then there was also the thing about the
feds of changed their status or not.
that I was. But the other thing about the police that he hadn't charged any of the police. What was it? Sorry, you said it earlier, and I was.
And he became a King County prosecutor in 2007.
Right.
And the first time he's ever charged the police was this year.
That's
and
right.
that was for the Auburn killing after this officer. That was his third person that he had killed.
Right, and he recommended like no or.
He didn't give him no bail. He let him out. He gave him a court summons to come to court for his second-degree murder charge.
Yeah.
And all that. So,
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Yep.
no problem.
All right, so that, just in case you didn't catch, that's why we're here, and that's who that is. Dan Schatterberger. Sorry, I keep fucking his name up.
Nice.
But yeah,
I just noticed
he's
the
the King County
sign.
prosecutor. He never came out, never came and talked to
on
us.
campus.
So, you know, unavailable for comment, I guess you would say.
You're the shit.
But yeah,
Thank you
so
for pot smoking signs.
that's pretty much, you know, what you heard a lot of great perspectives tonight, and a lot of people sharing how they've been feeling, especially after what happened last night with 3 protesters being hit by a car. Was if you didn't catch that, it was 3 protesters that were hit by a car last.
Alright, this is ice. Let's see if we notice anything different. I believe these are all cops. No, maybe just one or two. Weird little clumps of cars driving around here. Very interesting. Alright, let's go take a look, see. Doesn't look like any status has changed. Oh, their door's open now. Interesting. Don't know if there's movement in there. But the door is open. So who knows? Anyway, spotlights are off. There's still the guy up there on the second floor in the window. You can probably see him moving. Yeah, he's moved away from the window. And there they are again. Alright, so everything looks quiet over here. We'll head back to where the protesters are gathering and see what the speakers have to say. See where this ends up. I know they're here to protest the mass sterilization performed by ICE. It's a very, 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 very unhumane thing to do. Not even sure how they begin to justify something like that, where you even begin down that thought process tree. But I'll be back. So yeah, I'm here. There's a fair number of people here already.
Yeah, the first is I have my Facebook and my Twitch. The next one will be YouTube. Yeah, I'll probably stick with this. We'll
see how this goes. It's quite a couple peeps here. ICE is really quiet,
It's time
though.
for an upgrade.
There's no
Beneath
amassing
your
of
feet with beautiful, durable new carpet from the
no
Home Depot.
amassing
And right
of
now,
troops at
free
all.
installation.
It's almost like they
Choose
don't
from a
know what's
wide
coming.
selection of styles. Order samples.
It's true, there's no
Schedule
one down there
measure
at
and
all.
installation.
No, it's
all
completely
online. It's
empty.
never been easier to have
Yeah,
carpet
so
you
this will
love.
be. There
Right where you
are
live.
a ton of
For new carpet and free
cars
installation, only
parked
from
in
the
their
Home Depot.
parking lot
How
underground
doers
there in the
get
back
more done.
that aren't
Free installation
usually
of carpet,
there.
$4.99 or more, and
So
99
I
cents
think
more
they
per
might
square
just
foot.
be. Yeah, there's no spots on or anything like that. So we'll see. Yeah, I know there's supposed to be some speeches and stuff here. I know the cops are. Rolling around pretty deep down here all night so far. So there's a SUV, like I want to say, like somewhere between that blue, green, fucking American neutral color that you see undercovers have.
Yeah.
But it's an SUV, right? With Washington plates. Right. Yeah, and there's like one or two of them. They've been driving around in pairs. And dude's got the undercover spot and everything on the side. I'm like, but why Washington plates?
Yeah.
Like, it threw me. So,
I had so Sunday we had that Lake Oswego march.
Yes.
The next day I was out of work and I was actually working in Lake Oswego and I was driving down the main street that we marched down and a cop car pulled up behind me and he tailed me for about probably 3 miles till I got to the next restaurant I was going to. And I pull in and he pulls in right behind me and parks next to the undercover and they're staying there talking. And I'm like, alright, this is a little weird. Like, that's not awkward at all. And then as I go pull out, they both come out behind me. I'm like, yeah, that's
fun times.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to unclench after that one?
But they're actually like trained and I trust them far more, you know.
Alright. When was this supposed to start? 10:30?
They didn't put their meet time and march time. They just put 10:30. So
Okay.
I'm guessing that's meet time, and we'll probably be marching closer to 11:30.
Wow.
That'd be nice and chill, at least.
Without a coffee place within. This is painful.
That is the biggest pain about it down here. Is
No
there's
stores.
7-Eleven.
You got to get here like at 6:30. Like debit only, curbside, like all the things to come down here. And then you need to tip like 100% on like the overpriced stuff. It's awkward as hell. But if any of you guys are rolling down here to come see Kev, and you come with coffee and weed and a guy with a skateboard, always gotta go. Oh look, there's a skateboard. So I just need the weed and the coffee, people. Oh, actually, I have weed in my pocket, so I'm lying. Just bring me coffee. I need to work on that. And I'm sure one of you is yelling at me to put my mask over my nose. I know. So I'm going to pan up, and you guys are going to think of the movie that this resembles the most. Boom. What do you see right there? What movie is that? It's a classic. Big tower, big full moon. Some King Kong shit right there. This needs to be taller. Yeah, totally. I can see it.
The way it's placed, it almost looks like a giant spotlight.
Yeah.
They got the little Batman spotlight up there.
Before you add Oregon plates, Sam Lincoln 88531.
Alright, looks like I might get my smoke on here, guys, before I head back down to the building. Plot this down right here.
They can't bring more people.
I did, but it's just like,
And 140 Hamilton 88531 is clear on a Toyota 4Runner. It's expired, but clear by me.
that's just one thing that has been there for me, like when I got locked up and stuff.
Okay, copy.
I'll still be able to do protesting. Well, as long as you guys say it's the gospel, you know, he's been saying a lot of good things about me tonight. That's good. As long as he's a chill guy and doesn't try to like blood agendas and whatnot, I'm okay with that. Seriously.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's why I remember everybody.
Damn. I don't even know that. Right.
Yeah, just go watch it. It's on the town. Yeah, if you want to find out, just go watch the stream on their link. They'll explain. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Anyone else coming out? I'm pretty sure someone's coming out. Because he was asking earlier about leaders to nations postings.
Yeah.
So I'd assume that means he's coming out. I don't think Chris is coming. She was having troubles the last time she was here with her gas mask on. I think she's got this, so I think she won't come. Other than that, I'm not completely sure.
Thank you so
That's a late start. Well, they know now. They didn't know before.
They definitely know.
All right, guys. I know a bunch of you were asking about going back down to the signs. So I'm going to finish this joint and I'm going to go down to the signs, break them down for you again, and head over to ICE and see if they're prepping.
Like everybody finally getting the motto to work. It took long enough, but everybody's it's a lot easier.
All right. You staying? I'll see you down there. All right. So we're headed down to back to ICE. Now, if they know that we're here, they probably have something to say to us. They'll at least probably down there prepping And so we'll probably handle that and give you guys a view of what's going down.
168 traffic.
Hate walking into situations unprepared. And now that there's a sizable group, there's definitely going to be
Oregon 311, Edward Charles David.
Legion 194, 22.
some reaction. Alright, let's skedaddle on down there real quick. Cruise by the school again, getting that cardio in. Probably end up walking this about 5 or 6 more times at least.
Excuse me. Is there any protest tonight? Oh, park?
Like, I just don't know what you're talking about.
I just don't feel comfortable, especially bringing that on federal property. So, you know, it's just not a good idea.
I'm not going to be stepping onto it.
Alright, we're approaching the school, and a couple of people mentioned they wanted to see some particular artwork. So we'll show that. And check out the preparedness of this ice in Simpson Center. Alright. Let's see what we got here.
The Freds. So easy.
Okay, so we do have people up on the roof. I just spotted, look, if you guys look up there, let's see if we can. Hi. Yeah, they know that I spotted them. Due diligence, my friends. So, we have roof spotters. So, they're just waiting. Those of you who have friends in other channels, let the appropriate people know. We have roof cops. If they hadn't poked their head up when I walked over here, I might not have noticed them. They keep poking their head up. It's like, buddy, we know you're there. I know you can probably hear my voice, because sound carries and there ain't a whole lot of other sound. Anyway. I wonder if they peek over on this side. Yes, they do. They do peek over on this side. Interesting. They had to come check out what the guy with the press helmet was doing. Interesting. So now their own light illuminates them. I can see them even better, more clear. Whew. All right. Well, like I said, we'll be walking this back and forth more than a couple times tonight. We'll head back yet a different way, so I can scout for shady shit. Find something to do with your time, buddy. Roving signal security. You guys made sure I'm so safe. How's it going? Huh? Security. Hey.
138 traffic.
138, go ahead.